Welcome. I'm glad you've joined me today. Every experience begins with a thought, and our experience changes when we change that thought. In this series, we will focus on the thoughts and emotions relating to special meridian points located along the sides of the spine and corresponding to the vertebrae. They are called Huatuojiaji points, and each point connects a specific area of your body and nervous system. We will be working on opening the Huatuojiaji points along the spine to increase qi flow and activation of the nervous system so that your body has access to the life force and the information that it needs to heal itself. I will help you do this through Qigong healing and the use of forgiveness and affirmations. T9 is associated with stomach issues and liver issues. These two areas can go hand in hand, and they can be physical manifestations of an overactive or an underactive stomach, or liver issues like cirrhosis. They can easily be blocked or knotted up in the T9 area from these issues, but also from unresolved anger and worry. The emotional component of these areas does far more damage than the known physical causations. An example of this would be overconsumption of alcohol leading to a diseased liver. The question that I would ask would be, what led to the overconsumption of alcohol in the first place? So just a note with liver issues, today many drugs, legal and illegal, are used and can greatly damage the liver. When this happens, it can make it very difficult to feel good feelings or to process and integrate life. So by unblocking T9, we can open up the flow of energy and information, correcting the dysregulation of the system to allow a new way of interacting and viewing life. So blocks to the T9 area can also inhibit the flow of the solar plexus chakra and our ability to know and love ourselves. So by clearing the stagnant energy in each point and infusing it with life force energy, your body will have what it needs to correct and harmonize any dysfunction that has accumulated over the years. Life happens. And whether we choose it or not, it can have a great impact on how we live our lives and view our lives. So today we'll identify areas where energy is inflamed, stuck, stagnant, or refusing to flow because of old beliefs, dependence, controlling experiences, shame and humiliations, fears, the stories we tell ourselves, lifestyles, people involved in our lives, attitudes and demands. We will focus on beliefs that your mind is ready to embrace or release, where it is ready for change, it is ready for progress, and it's ready for transformation. So embrace these thoughts. Feel them deep within your body, your mind, and your soul, and allow them to penetrate deep into your heart. Because you are absolutely worthy of every virtue. You are worthy of every life-giving belief. As you hear these statements, let them into your heart, and they will transform you gently, profoundly, and bring greater and higher good in your life. So take a deep breath, and we will start. You can place your hand on your chest, touching the two fear points with your thumb and index finger. The spots may be tender, so hold your hand there, and you may massage the points if they are tender. The important thing is supporting those points with the energy through the palm of your hand. Or you can hold your hands in prayer position at your heart space. This is particularly effective if you're holding rare earth magnets with the south pole facing the right hand, or using a piece of quartz crystal, jade, or selenite. So let's start. Imagine looking into a mirror and looking deep into your eyes and talking directly into your soul. In this moment, speak this maxim to yourself with the care and compassion that you would give to the most apprehensive of beings. So repeat after me. Take kindness, and benevolence as basis. Take frankness and friendliness to heart. Speak with reason, treat with courtesy, act with emotion, and accomplish results. Let's say this one more time. This time we'll speak it into the T9 area of the vertebrae, increasing the life force with honest kindness and respect for its importance, place, and function. So take kindness and benevolence as basis. Take frankness and friendliness to heart. Speak with reason. Treat with courtesy. Act with emotion and accomplish results. We will breathe after each statement, consciously creating new pathways of response and allowing the energy to freely and lovingly flow. So carefully listen to each statement and try to repeat after me in your mind. Take a deep breath. I give myself permission to bring up and address the unconscious beliefs that have kept me stuck in patterns of response that bring harm to myself and others. And breathe. I give myself permission to forgive the people and institutions that have influenced my beliefs when they have encouraged distorted ideas, even when they believed it was good. And breathe. I forgive those in my life experience so far who intentionally or unintentionally caused me harm because of their own broken and distorted interpretations of life. And breathe. I forgive myself for my incorrect interpretation of the love and care offered to me by those who truly wanted to show love. And breathe. I ask others to forgive me when I have hurt or caused harm because of my mistaken interpretation of reality. And breathe. I forgive myself for any resistance I have towards embracing all that is good, lovely, and precious. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that miraculous transformation, healing, change, and opportunities only happen after long toiling effort, self-degradation, or that they don't happen for me. Breathe. I embrace all opportunities, gifts, and love that flow to me without hesitation or skepticism, but with thankfulness and gratitude. And breathe. I give myself permission to surrender and allow for the highest and greatest good to come to me and transform me and remake me. And breathe. I forgive myself for distorting my alignment with myself, with the great creator, and with great nature, because I do not know my true self. And breathe. I give myself permission to accept my true self and clear the blockages that keep me distorted in my physical health, in my emotional health, in my social health, and in my spiritual health. And breathe. I give myself permission to take responsibility for whatever comes into my presence with gratitude and calmness. And breathe. I forgive myself for knowingly or unknowingly creating the emotional and physical patterns that block my flow in connection to myself, heaven, earth, or humanity. And breathe. I give myself permission to grow and evolve by giving up the stories of the past so that the universe can write new ones. And breathe. I love and accept myself now as I begin to understand and accept the corrections to any false programming and beliefs I may have received. And breathe. I love and accept myself as I align myself to think and feel in the way the universe thinks and feels, accepting the miracles that flow through me, around me, above me, and below me. And breathe. I love and accept that the universe is highly flexible, and I can be too. Because when I'm flexible, which is in harmony with the universe, I am open to the infinite possibilities, and then possibilities appear. Breathe. I forgive myself for feeling let down by life. And breathe. I forgive myself for blaming others instead of taking responsibility for my life. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I am a victim in the story of my life. And breathe. I forgive myself for telling stories of my life that showcase how much of a victim I have been. And breathe. I forgive myself for trying to get love from others by telling stories of my pain, thus perpetuating the pain and victimhood and torturing of myself again and again. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that this is how you gain the love and trust of others. And breathe. I forgive myself for letting others create my reality. And breathe. I forgive myself for giving my power away to others or to substances that rule my life. And breathe. I forgive myself for being highly critical of myself and others, and even life itself. And breathe. I forgive myself for being disappointed in how my life has gone. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing I'm a failure. And breathe. I forgive myself for being ashamed of my past, my choices, and my interaction with life. And breathe. I forgive myself for reacting like a little kid when things don't go the way I want them to. and breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I am in a war with life and failure means I lost. And breathe. I forgive myself for no longer caring for myself. And breathe. I forgive myself for focusing on others to justify my lack of self-care. And breathe. I forgive myself for being anxious when I think I might fail and lose the fight. Breathe. I forgive myself for being afraid that I will never win at life. Breathe. I forgive myself for fighting against the gift of life. And breathe. I forgive myself for my lack of courage to truly engage with life. And breathe. I forgive myself for being afraid to interact with life because it might turn out bad for me. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that life must have burdens and struggle. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that one must struggle to have success, power, and position, and this is how life was designed. And breathe. I forgive myself for being jealous when I see success in others, especially when it appears that they did not have to struggle to get it. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I may never be successful because I haven't been challenged enough. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that it is not my lot in life to be happy. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that life is a struggle and that happiness and joy only come at a later time in a different world. And breathe. I forgive myself for dreading each new day. And breathe. I forgive myself for being afraid and skeptical of new experiences, especially if they may benefit me. And breathe. I forgive myself for my inability to assimilate the new, the beautiful, and the nourishing parts of life. And breathe. I forgive myself for rejecting what my great Creator has created to integrate with life itself. And breathe. I forgive myself for shutting down new input when I feel insecure or threatened. And breathe. I forgive myself for the lack of affection I am willing to give to those who care for me. And breathe. I forgive myself for condemning the success of other people. And breathe. I forgive myself for trying to take away the success of others. And breathe. I forgive myself for my chronic complaining. And breathe. I forgive myself for justifying fault finding to deceive myself. And breathe. I forgive myself for avoiding my responsibility to learn how to process and identify long-held anger. And breathe. I forgive myself for being petty in my dealings with myself and others. Breathe. I forgive myself for all the resentment I harbor when life is not going the way I want it to go. And breathe. I forgive myself for judging others' issues more harshly than I judge my own. And breathe. I forgive myself for using others' weaknesses to justify my lack of acceptance of my life. And breathe. I forgive myself for seeking revenge instead of being accountable for my part in the conflict. And breathe. I forgive myself for condemning others so that I don't have to acknowledge my own dysfunction. And breathe. I forgive myself for not letting myself or others flow with the life-giving life force that is afforded to us all. And breathe. I forgive myself for not seeing myself or others through the eyes of love and kindness. And breathe. I give myself permission to call up, transform, transmute, release, and remove all rejection of wisdom, refusal to know or understand, indecision, resentment and blame, misalignment with life, victimhood, and denial of my spiritual self for the highest and greatest good of myself and of others. And breathe. I now give myself permission to unblock both sides of the Huatuojiaji points of T9, opening and activating the flow of Qi and information through T9 on both sides, left and right, communicating freely with all parts of my body, mind, and spirit, raising the quality of my thoughts. And breathe. I give myself permission to see the past, present, and future clearly and honestly. And breathe. I give myself permission to take responsibility for every aspect of creating the life that supports me and that I love. And breathe. I give myself permission to gain wisdom through joyfully accepting the experiences of life in all of their diversity. Breathe. I give myself permission to release all that keeps me from seeing and hearing the truth. And breathe. Without feeling let down by life, blaming others, and living as a victim, I am free to align my life with my spiritual self and the energies of the universe. And breathe. When I am aligned with truth and love, I am free to unblock areas that are stuck and stagnant, to allow the flow of energy and information to all areas of my body, mind, and life experience. And breathe. I am free to claim my own power and be accountable for my life experience. And breathe. I am free to lovingly create my own reality. And breathe. I am free to believe that divine action is always taking place in my life, working for my good. And breathe. I am free to believe that good can come from each and every experience. And breathe. I am free to believe that it is safe to grow up. And breathe. I am free to love and approve of myself. And breathe. I am free to care for myself with kindness. And breathe. I am free to believe that life agrees with me and it is exquisite. Breathe. I am free to assimilate the new in every moment of every day. And breathe. I am free to choose to live through the open space of my heart. And breathe. I am free to look for love and find it everywhere. And breathe. I am free to see beauty all around me in large and in small ways. And breathe. I am free to stand in awe at the beauty and wonder of life, of relationships, and of experiences. And breathe. I am free to have the power, strength, and knowledge to handle everything in my life, perfectly aligned and supported in all things. And breathe. With the power of my divine consciousness, I now create connection and harmony with all things in myself and in my world in a way that inspires kindness, friendliness, honesty, and goodwill. to flow genuine love and sincere compassion to all that is in my range of influence, and freely offering connection from the brightest place of my heart. And breathe. You are now creating new alignments and stronger and more powerful beliefs, letting go of the stories of the past and creating new supportive and harmonious ones to manifest the peace, happiness, and calm that is divinely gifted to you at all times. So take a long, deep breath and release all that does not align with the truth and love. Continue to breathe as I leave this thought with you. Wonder enlarges the heart. When you wonder, you are drawn out of yourself. Wonder never rests on the surface of a fact or a situation. It voyages inward to discover why something is the way it is. And in this sense, wonder kindles compassion and understanding. So may your wonder increase to see the beauty in everyone and in everything. So now smile, embrace the universe, enjoy your life, the life that is presented to you. Take responsibility for it and begin to make a positive difference in your world. Thank you.